Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of CML Statehouse Report. I'm CML Legislative Advocacy Manager Megan Dollar. A quick update on where we are in the legislative session. We have a little under a month left. We anticipate that the legislature will likely break June 12th. And so we are definitely getting to that point in the session where we have some long nights and a lot of debate on the floor. So it's a lot, things are going to be moving really fast. Of course, if you all have any questions, please always feel free to reach out to us. I'll go ahead and get us started though. The first two bills I want to talk about, which I testified in support of last week, is Senate Bill 242, which creates a program within the Department of Local Affairs that will provide grants to nonprofits and local governments to rehab and utilize old hotels and motels in order to provide housing for homeless individuals. We do have members that are interested in doing that and have already begun doing that, and this will actually set aside $15 million for that program. So I did testify in support of Senate Bill 242, and that did get out of the Senate Local Government Committee on a party line vote. Another bill that CML is supporting is House Bill 1271, and that has to do, it's called the DOLA Innovative Strategies for Affordable Housing program. It creates actually 3 different grant programs, all programs that benefit municipalities. The first one that is going to have about $9.3 million added into it is really aimed at incentivizing local governments to think a little bit outside the box when they talk about their land use and their zoning. What the bill does is provide a quote menu of options that actually allows a local government to choose from that menu, and if they adopt those policies, they are eligible for grant funding. It's a really interesting program, and I'll be very interested to see how municipalities utilize that, assuming that the bill is passed, and we believe that it will be. Additionally, the bill also creates grant programs around creating technical assistance for smaller communities to do housing assessments, and then any kind of additional planning expertise as well, and any consultation that they might need. Again, very helpful for smaller communities, particularly in rural areas. And so CML, myself, did testify in support of House Bill 1271 when it was heard in the Senate Local Government Committee this past week. That bill also passed on a party line vote. And we do expect it to pass the Senate as early as this week when you're watching this recording. Finally, I want to talk about a bill that CML is currently opposed unless amended to. It is House Bill 1250, and this is the follow-up to Senate Bill 217, which was the Law Enforcement Integrity Act. CML is hopeful that the bill is currently on the House second reading calendar, and I anticipate that it will be heard early this week. At this time, I can't really predict whether CML's concerns, specifically around moving up body camera timelines and changing some of those requirements, as well as clarifying definitions around contacts, and then finally clarifying the use of force, will fully be dealt with on House second reading. So hopefully that is the case. Certainly I'll report back next week and make sure that you all are aware of what happens on that bill, but we are currently still opposed unless amended.
Hi everyone, this is Heather Stauffer. Today I'm going to talk about 3 bills. The first bill I want to talk about is House Bill 1244, Restrictions on Collection and Use of Biometric Information. CML testified and lobbied in opposition to this bill, which would have severely limited the types of biometric information that governments could collect and would have had impacts on everything from law enforcement investigations to airport security to facility access for utilities, excuse me. It also included a private right of action in the bill in excess of governmental immunity standards. We're happy to say that this bill was postponed indefinitely by the sponsor in the House Business Affairs and Labor Committee this week, and it will not be moving forward. The second bill I want to talk about is Senate Bill 262, Special District Transparency. This bill changes a lot of aspects in the ways that metro districts operate to increase transparency. The piece of this bill that impacts municipalities is the section in section 6, which limits a metro district's power of dominant eminent domain outside of the service area of the entity which approved their service plan, which gives neighboring municipalities some protection against these dominant eminent domain powers. CML testified in support of this bill in the Senate Local Government Committee, and that bill passed out of committee on a 5-0 vote. The last bill that I want to talk about is Senate Bill 88. This is the Child Sex Abuse Accountability Act. CML has been working to amend Senate Bill 88 to include a proper waiver of governmental immunity, which would allow for lawsuits against governmental entities while also protecting our tax-paying citizens from unlimited liability. Unfortunately, this week, the Senate Republicans offered an amendment on second reading, which stripped out the damage caps for governmental entities in the bill. We were extremely disappointed in the Senate's failure to recognize the fact that governmental entities are not the same as private businesses and have never been treated under the law as such. And we'll be working to restore the balance that the bill previously had between holding governmental entities accountable for wrongdoing and protecting tax-paying citizens from bearing the fiscal burden of unlimited liability. So that's it for me this week, and have a great week. Thank you.
Hi everybody, Bill Clarion here, and today I will provide you all with updates on 3 bills. The first update is on House Bill 1168, which creates a pilot program that supports local governments in diversifying their procurement practices. The bill passed the Senate last week and is on its way to the governor's desk. CML strike bill amendments stayed on throughout this process, which we're excited about. The second update is on House Bill 1301, which concerns cannabis cultivation measures and permits contingency plans to reduce crop loss based on adverse weather. This past week, CML worked with the proponents in understanding the intent of the bill. We saw amendments to clarify the local licensing authority in reviewing and regulating these adverse weather plans in negotiated language. We expect the bill to be amended with our language today at 1:30 in the House Agricultural Committee. My last update will be on the newly introduced House Bill 21-1345 concerning the Department of Revenue's actions against certain documents. This bill removes the DMV's authority to cancel or deny the renewal of a driver's license for specific offenses and limits the use of outstanding judgment warrants. CML has been working with the municipal judges on amendments to this bill regarding delaying action on the DMV's end to 91 days, decreasing fees, and an alternative mechanism to ensure individuals clear up for outstanding judgment warrants. We haven't received feedback on our amendments. As of this week, CML has a position of oppose unless amended on this bill. This bill has not been scheduled for committee, and CML will continue to work on our amendments. And that concludes my updates for this week. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan McKillop, a legislative and policy advocate with CML. Here are some things I'm working on at the Statehouse. This week, the Senate debated Senate Bill 260, the Transportation Funding Bill. CML testified in support of the bill on Monday, May 10th, and on Friday, the bill was debated by the full Senate and passed second reading with a few amendments. Most of the amendments were technical in nature. The bill proposes a package of fees, dedicated general fund dollars, and stimulus funds that will help address the backlog of infrastructure maintenance across the state. The bill will also provide funding for electric vehicle infrastructure and multimodal projects that address climate change concerns. Senate Bill 260 will provide millions of dollars in new revenue directly to local governments, provide local governments more flexibility when completing multimodal projects, and will keep local government's share of historic revenue whole. CML is enthusiastically supporting this piece of legislation that finally creates an equitable statewide solution for Colorado's transportation woes. Once the bill has its final vote in the Senate this week, it will head over to the House. Please reach out to me with any questions you might have about our transportation funding bill. Next up, I want to talk about a bill that we discussed on Thursday, May 13th. The Senate Local Government Committee approved a bill that would provide local governments with much needed stimulus funds by creating the Community Revitalization Grant Program. This bill takes $65 million in state stimulus money and puts it towards projects that create or revitalize mixed-use commercial centers in small Colorado towns. This bill will help our cities and towns revitalize Main Street areas all over the state using a creative industry strategy. These types of projects can support local small businesses and can become tourist attractions for some cities and towns. Municipalities across Colorado can see an immediate impact from the program outlined in the bill. Last, on Tuesday, May 18th, the Senate State Affairs Committee will take up House Bill 1162, Management of Plastic Products. This bill creates a statewide ban on plastic bags and styrofoam takeout containers. Additionally, the bill creates a 10-cent fee on all plastic bags provided by retailers, and later a 10-cent fee on reusable paper bags. As you may remember, this bill was changed in the House to remove the repeal of a 30-year-old law that prohibits local governments from managing plastic products. CML has been actively seeking an amendment that would restore this language, and we are hopeful that we will be successful in the Senate. Please reach out to your state senator to let them know that you want House Bill 1162 to include the repeal of local government preemption. That's all for me. Please reach out with any questions about these bills or any other piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and have a great week.